Now, it is 11 a.m., so we have just gotten the most recent update from the National Hurricane Center on Tropical Storm Bertha, which, remember, is our second named storm of the 2026 Atlantic hurricane season. So let's jump into where things stand with this system now. Right off the bat, I've been reiterating this over the last couple of days. The most important thing to know here in central Georgia is the fact that this system is still not going to impact us directly. But it is tropic season and it is close to home over in the Gulf, so it's at least worth talking about. Now, you're looking right now at Tropical Storm Bertha on infrared satellite, and overall, this system, kind of the one thing that it's carried over with it time and time again, is the fact that it hasn't really been the best looking tropical system. When you look on infrared here, you don't really get a good picture of where the center of circulation is. Obviously, you see the strong showers and thunderstorms down in the Gulf, but actually the center of circulation is somewhat disconnected from this system. And there is a reason for that. The reason that this is happening is because there's some strong upper level winds down in the Gulf, what we call vertical wind shear. What that's actually doing is not allowing this system to become vertically stacked. So what's happening is these winds are coming into this system, and instead of it being like this, where you normally get the eye of a tropical storm or a hurricane, it's essentially tilting the system down to the south. So the strong showers and thunderstorms end up getting separated from the center of circulation, which actually in this case ends up being a really good thing when we're talking about land impacts. So just right off the bat, that is something that you need to know about this system because it's a very important part of the impacts that we're going to see from it. So when we look at it on the satellite and radar, you get a little bit of a better depiction of what I was just talking about. Up here, you can see the center of circulation. You see where the showers and the thunderstorms are kind of rotating around where we have the rotation. Down in the south, you see that same plume of showers and thunderstorms that I was just talking about. So again, separation here from what we would consider in this system to be the strongest weather, the heaviest rainfall, the strongest thunderstorms. That's all down in the Gulf, and then the center of this circulation is up here near the Gulf Coast. Now, don't get me wrong. It doesn't mean that there's no impacts. You can still see that there are some showers up here on the Gulf Coast, and this center of circulation is likely pushing some gusty winds into that region as well. There are tropical storm watches and warnings in effect along here, so it definitely is still an impact. But in terms of the worst of the system impacting land, luckily that doesn't look like it's going to be the case. So let's take a look at where things stand in terms of rainfall totals. Like I said, because the bulk of that rainfall and the majority of the heavy showers and thunderstorms stay down in the Gulf, well, the totals along the Gulf Coast end up being relatively low. Now, there is still going to be a flash flood concern along these regions just because even low amounts of rainfall can come down really all at one time and in a very short time frame. So that's why flash flooding will still be a concern while the system rolls across. But again, tropical downpours, really heavy rainfall. Luckily, that concern stays a little bit further to the south. So let's look at the latest cone from the National Hurricane Center. And you can see this is still expected to track over Louisiana as we go throughout the rest of the day, maintaining tropical storm strength. One of the newest updates from kind of late last night, early this morning, is that this is also expected to continue its tropical storm strength all the way to the Texas coast. So we will likely continue to see some strong winds roll across this region as we go all the way into tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. By the time we get to the end of the week, really early weekend, that's when I think the system will be over with, just a remnant low pressure system over in Texas. So overall, luckily, I think the worst of it kind of is a little bit further to the south. Nonetheless, like I mentioned, strong winds will still be a concern, especially along the Gulf Coast. Rip currents, high surf, those are going to be some of the things that we pay attention to as well. Tropical storm warnings are in effect where some of these tropical storm conditions have already taken place or are going to take place. And now that the thinking is it's going to continue its tropical storm force strength over in Texas and portions of Louisiana, there is a tropical storm watch in effect to see how this system progresses as we get a little bit closer to that. But with that, that is the latest update on Tropical Storm Bertha. Again, not expected to impact central Georgia. So